أناجي الحق في ليل بهيم أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى أناجي الحق في ليل بهيم أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum, and welcome to another edition of Perspective. My name is Faizel Patel. Commuting to work has taken a toll on South Africans. The price of fuel, e-tolls has just compounded the cost, and not to mention the aggravation of sitting in massive traffic jams on a daily basis. It has just become totally frustrating. South Africa needs an effective public transport solution. The Nasrec Metro Plus Express, which is a commuter rail service between Nasrec Station and Park Station, hopes to alleviate pressure on Johannesburg's highways with a new alternative and a welcome relief. Now, the express from Nasrec links commuters to the Gautrain, where the two systems meet at Park Station. And if the service proves popular, listen to this, 360 cars per day could be removed from the M1 highway to the south of the city. Now, to tell us more, in studio I have Ebrahim Moolla, who is the Nasrec commuters representative. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective.
Walaikum salam. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Now, first of all, what is the Nasrec Metro Plus Express?
Quite simply, it's an express service, a train service that's run by Metro Rail. And essentially what happens is the train runs non-stop between two stations. Mm-hmm. So it begins its journey from the Nasrec train station and it makes its way all to Park Station. 25 minutes, and it's an express service, so it means it's more quicker than your conventional trains, and it's a more of an upmarket sort of a train service, which gives your commuters a sense of comfort, style, and of course safety and reliability. Okay.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of factors that initiated the service. I mentioned about the traffic, the congestion, the time to be on work on time, a whole lot of other issues there. What initiated the Nasrec Metro Plus Express?
I think you're spot on. It was actually the traffic. I mean, traveling from the south of Johannesburg to Sandton, for example, in my case.
Yes.
It is a lot of time wasted on the roads. Mm-hmm. And what pushed me over the edge was when I went to the UK and used the underground public system or the transport system there, it just kind of made me go over the edge and just go about and do this to try and see if we can find a better alternative for people traveling from the south of Joburg.
Now, you mentioned that you were in the UK, right? Compared to the service in the UK, would you say that the service that you are offering is on par or above par?
Well, I didn't want to put any expectations on this. Obviously, I want to make this a world-class experience because I believe in South Africans, we have world-class people.
Yes.
And my experiences thus far, the train was launched in October, officially. It has been an amazing experience to see the progression of the service quality and the professionalism of the people that offer the service. So I'm very impressed. And I just hope and would like to urge listeners or viewers to come on and experience this train.
Okay. Now, obviously, there are a whole lot of routes that it's supposed to cover. Just for our viewers, what routes does the Nasrec Metro Plus Express cover at the moment?
Well, when you say route, are you talking specific the train route or the routes that
the whole project?
Sure.
Which routes does it cover?
Well, the biggest sort of area that we wanted to get traffic out of is the M1 North. So it's from your Xavier Street off-ramp going as far as your Empire Street off-ramp, if I could call it correctly. So that whole area, the double-decker section, and a lot of other areas are where we wanted to get the traffic sort of to be much less, rather, should I say. Yes. So the whole train service is to cater for the south of Johannesburg, from Lenasia, as an example, Eldorado Park, as far south as Van der Bijl, if need be, Robertsham, Ridgeway, Amonde. So a lot of those areas, that's in that area can cater for this.
All right. Now you were speaking about, obviously, we still have to take a taxi from Lenasia to get to the station.
Sure.
Now, at the moment, we know that there's extensive roadworks that was taking place on the N12. Will this impact on the service currently available by the initiative that you got?
Well, unfortunately, for the time being, yes. Leaving Lenasia as an example, the N12, it's going to be a bit of a situation, but it's short term. I mean, there are other routes to bypass that for now. This morning, as an example, there were roadworks. We got to the station on time, and we left lanes at the normal time as well.
Okay. Now, obviously, there's a lot of benefits that come with the service. Who will benefit the most from this particular service?
I suppose anyone traveling north. In my case, I work in Sandton.
Yes.
So to get to the Gautrain was a problem with normal car driving because you need to get to the station via traffic.
Yes.
With this train, it takes you straight to Park Station, 25 minutes from Nazareth, and a quick short walk, and then you back onto the Gautrain in 8 minutes time you're in Sandton.
Okay. Now, assuming a person is traveling from Lenasia to Sandton, as you mentioned, the total traveling time from the time he leaves his home to the time he gets to his desk, what are we talking about there?
Well, it depends on where you work.
Yes.
How I calculated it is at specific nodes of commonality, meaning from a station itself at Nazareth to the Gautrain station in Sandton. And that journey is an incredible 34 minutes. So it just depends how far off the stations you are in terms of your office desk. Usually it takes just over an hour from my home in Lenasia to the Sandton Gautrain station, which I find to be quite convenient, bearing in mind you're leaving your home at peak hour traffic, and you can still get to places like Sandton, which is going to be even more worse in terms of traffic.
Yes.
So I think you should bet around about an hour, 5 minutes.
Okay. Now, we know that people still love traveling with their cars. Don't you think that possibly, like, if they use the train and there's an emergency at home, will there be enough sort of trains or trips during the day for them to get back on the time if there is an emergency somewhere?
For now, no. You must understand this is a trial period which we're currently running. So there are 2 trains that run in the morning and 2 in the afternoon.
Yes.
If there's a demand, I don't see why not. I don't see why Metro Rail would not allow for more trains to run. So it's all dependent on the amount of commuters we have and when they use it. So if that's the case, who knows? We can always chat to Metro Rail.
Okay. Like, again, I want to expound on that. People love to travel with their cars. I mean, you got a 200,000 car at home or 300,000 car. Your idea to buy that car was probably to travel or whatever the case may be. How do you convince those people to say, you know what, listen, leave your car at home and travel with a train? It's much better.
Well, if you value your life, you would give it a serious consideration, because the stress level sitting in the car, no matter how expensive your car is, if traffic is not allowing you to move, your 200,000 rand car is pretty much worthless in terms of the power it generates and whatever it is. I will tell many of your viewers to say, experience the thrill of driving to work or getting to work stress-free. That for me is the winner, because when you might drive a car which is quite fancy.
Yes.
Your stress levels are going through the roof. So your medical bills are going to pretty much go up just as well. So you might like your car, but you're going to be incurring an additional cost on your health. Yes. And the other thing, if I may add, is your mileage on your car is eating up your service plans much quicker. So you're depreciating the value of your car at a quicker rate. But it boils down to a simple philosophy which we've kind of had at the center of this whole initiative. It's about the human being. It's about you as an individual. Let's get back your life. Let's get the stress levels down. Let's get you more effective, more efficient, and just to enjoy every single day as it stands.
Okay. You were saying that you launched in October. Which role players, who do you have involved in the whole launch, and who has come on board? Probably Metro Rail, like you said, probably the Department of Transport. Maybe you can elaborate on that?
Sure. The train infrastructure and the rail infrastructure belongs to Metro Rail.
Yes.
And they were kind enough to engage with us in terms of launching the product. I had to obviously pitch the idea through the normal sort of legal channels, if I may say that. And we've had a very good response.
Yeah.
At the launch, we've had the CEO of PRASA, and we've also had the MEC for Transport, and he officially launched this train service. So essentially, for the time being, those are the two key role players that we have supporting us and providing us a lot of facilities and operational management as well.
Have you got any other role players in the future that will come on board that maybe can subsidize this? It's such a great initiative. Would you maybe possibly pitch it to companies to subsidize the employees' transport? We know that traveling from Lenasia to Sandton or wherever you may work, if you're traveling with somebody, it costs plus minus 1,200 Rand. There's e-tolls that comes on top of it, assuming the person is registered. Have you pitched it to companies to get a subsidy maybe perhaps for the employees?
Well, we do have a strategy which we want to roll out in time. And part of that strategy is to engage with your employers at work in the areas of Sandton, for example, to pitch it to them to say, come on board. Commercially, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
But more importantly, from a different type of fringe benefit, where you can get employees, being subsidized, for example, to get to work stress-free. The other thing we wanted to do is perhaps look at your Discovery Vitality Points as an example, or bank-made Vitality Points to award people who use the train service. So it just gets them to be more involved with getting less stress. But it will probably happen over time, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Okay. This evening we're speaking to Ebrahim Moolla. He's from the Nasrec Metro Plus Express to ease the congestion on South African roads with a brilliant initiative. We're going to go for a break. After the break, we're going to be continue speaking to Ebrahim Moolla. Stay tuned to Perspective.
أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى إلهي صرت في ظرف عصيب فاكشف البلوى فيا ربي أنا.
Welcome back to Perspective. This evening we're speaking to Ebrahim Moolla. He's from the Nasrec Metro Plus Express, a brilliant initiative to ease congestion on South Africa's roads and also to make it sort of stress-free to travel from home to work. We need that. South Africa's roads are totally congested. The traffic time is absolutely ridiculous. Coming to ITV, for me, was absolutely a headache. It was a nightmare. I work in Lenasia. I live in Lenasia. And coming to Sunning Hill is just absolute nightmare with this traffic. So maybe this will ease the congestion that we currently have on South Africa's roads. Now, speaking about the Nasrec Transport Hub, we know that when people think about trains, they think about the danger, you think about bag snatching, you're talking about pickpocketing. How safe is this train? Assuming people want to travel, and I hope they do. How safe is the train? How can they be reassured that the service is absolutely safe?
That's a good question. I tell you what, when you experience a train, you suddenly realize that there's a lot of human interaction.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is there's security at the stations itself, and there's the security in every coach.
Yes.
So you feel exceptionally safe. In my experiences using the train so far, you're at ease.
Yes.
And the trains are not the type of trains you think about when you see the normal ones going up and down the railway tracks.
Yes.
These are Metro Plus trains. So that means they have sort of leather seats. They have, lots of leg room. And you actually get a free newspaper as well on board. Just to add to that concept of saying, hang on, this is a different experience. It's very safe. To a point where it goes from the train station to the Gautrain as well. All along the route, you have security personnel to look after you. So I would definitely say it's very safe. We've never had experience of any theft or crime thus far. And I'm pretty sure that we will continue this way.
Okay. Now, speaking about that, obviously, your whole hub is based at Nasrec, right? But somebody still has to take out their car and drive to Nasrec.
Yeah.
So, and that's what, let's say 20 kilometers or 10, 15 kilometers, but they still have to take out their car, right? Is there any way possibly that you can run the train station from closer to where people stay, assuming you're traveling from Lenasia? Why can't the Lenasia train station be used specifically as a hub and then from there go to Sandton or wherever the place where you're working?
Sure. To answer the question, let me start off with the shuttle service that I would like to introduce to many of your viewers. Traveling to Nazareth by car is an option. But what we're also working on currently is a shuttle service. So using Lens as an example, we would like to pick up people at one single point where people can get there. And from there, the shuttle service takes you directly to Nazareth and back. So that can be another alternative for people to use as opposed to taking their car. Your second point, and to answer that, I don't see why not. We need people, though, to buy into the concept. We need people to participate in it. And by that I mean is, have a survey, which we will do gladly. And if the demand is there for it, I will gladly, on a personal capacity as well as part of NTH, try and get such a service to come to a place like Indonesia, for example.
Okay. Now, you launched in October.
Yeah.
We're sitting 2 months down the line now. And how has the response been towards the service so far?
It's been good. Look, it hasn't been as robust as we wanted it to be, but the numbers pick up on a daily basis. The inquiries we get from people pick up on a daily basis. So that's good. That's encouraging. But you have to understand, this was a personal project of mine, done more on a voluntary basis as opposed to a career in a business. So the time spent on this isn't as much as I would like to spend on it, firstly. And secondly, this is Metro Rail owned in terms of infrastructure. So we need to just make sure that they also sort of do their marketing, and we will do ours on our side as well. But I think with time and with the traffic congestion being as bad as it is, people will definitely use the train more often, I have no doubt.
Okay. I just want to expound on that point again. You were saying that you receive a lot of support, but not as much as you expected. If you could use a sentence or something to convince, how would you convince them? How do you convince people to use the service? I mean, from what I hear, it's an absolute brilliant service. It eases congestion, it makes your life stress-free. But how do you convince those masses to use the station? You mentioned you from London. And from what I've seen, and I've been to London, a lot of people use the tube. How do you convince those people to use the train?
Well, I think personally it's a mindset change. I also was very reluctant to use South African train services. But my experiences in the UK and the fact that, we do have infrastructure. And we've got great people who want to make it work. So my message, or one sentence, if I need to use, is to tell people, listen, look at yourself in the mirror. And if you value yourself in terms of time and stress, you would consider this train as an option. It gives you a lot of opportunity to do a lot of planning on your day. And it kind of gets you up and about in terms of, not just sitting behind your car and having a radio as a companion. Here you can have many different other people from all walks of life to sit and chat with if you'd like. If you want your own space to prepare for yourself during the day, you can do that on the train. It's safe, so that's fine. But the most important thing, and I don't even have to sell it, much further by just saying, morning traffic. How do you feel?
Absolutely. Okay, now you're sitting in a train. You've parked your car at Nazareth, you're sitting in a train. As far as facilities available, I mean, if I have to travel with a train, I definitely want Wi-Fi so I can catch up on the latest news and that sort of stuff. As far as facilities is concerned, like Wi-Fi, any other luxuries, if you want to put it that way, on the train, are there any available?
Well, at the moment, no. You can access your normal data. I mean, that's a bit expensive, unfortunately, for the user. But these are all ideas that we have put in place in terms of implementation in the future. If the numbers justify it, there is no doubt we will have it, rather, on the train. So those things are in the pipeline. And you have to understand the other thing I'm really excited about, and I want to really punt this to the viewers, is in 2016, Prasa launches their brand new trains. High speed, very good quality, and they will have all these features on board already. So it's just a matter of when. But I think what's great is that we have time to change the mindset, to get people to accept the fact that train services like the Nazareth Transport Hub is a great way to travel. It's there. We should use it. And then it just needs a bit of a tweak to your daily routine. Instead of driving by car, being existence in terms of idle time, change that. You can be a bit more robust. You can be a bit more active in terms of your daily routine. And once you get that up and running, you'll find it easier to embrace this whole new world of technology in terms of the new trains. To get there, though, we need time. They are being constructed in the meantime. For now, we're trying to get it up and running, but we need the numbers to come in to justify it from a business perspective.
Okay. Now, you've got a trip from, I mean, it caters for people in the south to Sandton. Are there any other routes planned for the future?
I do have 2 other routes I wanted to get on board after the Nazareth one. The focus that I want to focus on now, going forward, is the West Rand of Johannesburg. So people living in Roodepoort, Krugersdorp area, I want you to get something going from there to Park Station. And of course, my beloved Lenasia, I want to get a train station, or rather a train running from that station,
Okay. Now the proverbial question, how much does it cost? I mean, how much would a trip cost? Assuming that you travel with your car, it costs you 1,200 Rand. If a person has to use a train for the whole month, or the service for the whole month, how much will it cost?
Well, the Nazareth Express service costs you 360 Rand a month.
Sure,
Let me repeat that, 360 Rand a month, and it includes parking cost, all right, and then obviously you get your newspaper for free. So 360 Rand a month is what it's going to cost you.
That's the entire trip. I mean, from the time you leave Lens, right at the time you get to your desk or wherever you're working, in Sandton or wherever you're working, 360 a month.
No. The Nazareth train service is 360 Rand.
month.
So if you want to extrapolate it from home to work, my example again, if I leave Lens and go to Sandton, what I would do is I would take a shuttle service, which currently we're testing, and we sort of based the figure on a cost perspective at around about 500 Rand a month, let's just say. 360 Rand a month then is your Nazareth experience. And then Gautrain for a month is 898 Rand for 44 trips, which is essentially a month.
Of course,
So a rough addition of all those numbers, you're looking at under 2,000 Rand a month, all in.
Yes, absolutely.
My petrol bill alone is 3,000 Rand a month.
So
that excludes your wear and tear. It excludes all the other costs associated with travel. And already just by judging on a financial perspective, the benefits are definitely more in terms of advantageous cost savings at using the Nazareth transport.
Okay. Your last thoughts and comments, and where can our viewers get more information?
Well, we are busy with the website currently. As soon as that's up and running, I will definitely forward the website address to you. For now, though, you can contact us on email. The email address is info@nthexpress.co.za. That's info@nthexpress.co.za. Just email, and we will gladly send you information in terms of routes, costing, and all the other administrative and operational issues. And once we got the website running, like I said, we'll definitely forward it through to you.
Ebrahim Moolla, absolute pleasure and all the success with the new initiative.
Shukran, thanks for having me.
There you have it, possibly a new initiative to ease traffic congestion, also to make life a little bit stress-free. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of another edition of Perspective. Remember, you can interact with me. Send me a mail on Faizel@idvnetworks.tv. Drop me a tweet on @Faizi143, or you can even comment on facebook.com/Faizel Patel. From myself, Faizel Patel, and the great team here at ITV, fi amanillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أناجي الحق في ليل بهيم أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى أناجي الحق في ليل بهيم أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى صرت في ظرف عصيب فاكشف البلوى فيا ربي أنا عبد لرد الضيم لا يقوى